things you need to know, people. 1, welcome back to episode 123. 2, no, we didn't plan this. And 3, I'm way more hyped about James Ellsworth than I ever will be about Goldberg. Welcome to the SmackDown Rundown, where SmackDown was fantastic again.
SmackDown was entertaining.
I mean, if there's one thing that SmackDown's really good at, it's fucking comedy.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, some of the matches were still really good.
Yeah.
The story build was really good. There were some things that weren't that good.
Like Baron Corbin versus Jack Swagger.
That was literally just like a commercial break between Natalya showing cat pictures to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. She
also wants to be on the Women's Survivor Series team.
So the first person to volunteer for either team on either brand.
Yeah, has been Natalya. And then after... I couldn't even remember who won. Baron Corbin beat Jack Swagger.
It was very fast.
Yeah.
He tried to murder him with the guardrail.
It was half of their match from No Mercy. It was exactly like half of what they did.
And it didn't even last half as long.
No. And then after that happened, Daniel broke the news to Dean Ambrose, who thought for sure he was going to be the special guest referee again in the championship match. Let him know that he wasn't going to be the special guest referee. He was allowed to be there. He could be a commentator. He could be a ring announcer. He could be a timekeeper. He could be whatever he wanted to be.
Just not the referee.
And Ambrose is like, yeah, I'll do that. So, but other things that happened. We had, let's see.
Carmella's stupid.
Yeah. This was...
The video package was funny.
Yes.
The rest of the whole thing just made Carmella sound dumb.
It really did.
Because her whole shtick is like, oh, I'm going to tell you the truth about Nikki Bella. She's dating John Cena.
What?
Yeah. Shocker.
Nikki Bella and John Cena?
Yeah. What a just goddamn surprise.
Next you're going to tell me, like, Daniel Bryan's married to Brie Bella? And, like Paige is going to get married to Alberto Del Rio?
I'm not so certain about that one yet.
Well, yeah. That was still really up in the air. Yeah, no, it was...
Unless you're Paige.
Then it's definitely happening. Yeah, no, it was definitely the... a downside to any possible intelligence on the part of Carmella.
Yeah.
She was mostly just, she was saying, like, her best line was calling Nikki Bella a gold digger.
That was the only part of the whole fucking thing that got a reaction out of the crowd.
Yeah, and she should have just stopped there because they got a good reaction. She could have just dropped the mic and walked away.
Yeah.
And she probably would have got a better send-off at that. But, yeah, it was, I appreciate the attempt at story build in this feud that I don't really care that much about.
Yeah.
I mean, neither girl did a bad job on their promos. This is one of the best promos I've seen Nikki cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went on a little longer than it needed to be.
Way longer.
So yeah, we're probably gonna get another one of those matches fairly soon. We also had Apollo Crews was going to be the one to welcome Curt Hawkins to SmackDown.
Yeah, we're going to have Curt Hawkins' re-debut match.
Yeah, because last week we didn't get to see Curt Hawkins because Curt Hawkins didn't want to see us.
Yeah, and this week we found out that sometimes the Sun wears Curt Hawkins' screen
to prevent itself from the damaging Curt Hawkins. What was the other one he had? I liked it. Like, okay. So, not Carmella. What's the other one that I don't like?
Eva Marie.
That one. The fact that she has the whole, like, the intro to the ring, like someone doing her intro.
Yeah, and Curt Hawkins is doing his own.
The fact that Curt Hawkins does his own and it's pre-recorded is fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he had a little bit to say about Apollo Crews and...
so he's going to have to change his name to Apollo Lose.
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest. And then Apollo punched him in the face, and then he rolled out of the ring and said Apollo ruined his debut, and so now nobody gets to watch him in action for the first time on SmackDown, and he walked away. He stormed away like an angry child.
Yep.
He stomped his feet.
Pretty
and just
adequate way of...
I think he kept looking back to make sure Apollo wasn't chasing him. But, yeah. So we didn't get to see Curt Hawkins compete in a ring. We just saw him get punched in the face by Apollo Crews.
Yeah. You know what was a really cool segment of SmackDown, though?
What's that?
The opening segment of SmackDown.
It really was.
Randy Orton cutting a promo about Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Randy Orton, he feels like this whole situation's like making him lose his mind. Like he's just in this very strange situation.
I think that's the voices, Randy.
Yeah, you know, maybe he's never quite listened to the voices all the way, and now the voices are just Bray Wyatt.
I just feel like him saying he feels like he's losing his mind is sort of like saying he shouldn't have had this theme song the whole time, you mean? Like, he's been normal the whole time?
You mean this theme song makes me crazy? What? But yeah, so then he was cut off by, the Wyatt thing, and we come up on a black sheep mask, which we haven't seen since Braun Strowman. And then we had like 4 or 5 of these people in black hoodies and the black sheep mask, and then we pan down into a casket in which Bray Wyatt is laying, and it's very Bray Wyatt imitating Undertaker almost.
Yeah.
Cutting his promo from there, and then he ends it with by the way, Randy, he's here. And then we find out that our first match of the night is going to be Randy Orton taking on Luke Harper. And they have a killer match, which about halfway through is interrupted by Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, the thing started in slow motion, though. Neither of these guys were punching or kicking very fast.
Yeah, there were quite a few. Like, that one big boot that Luke got off on Randy a little later was even like a slow boot for Harper.
Yeah. No, what got me, though, is, like, Orton baited Harper to, like, try and clothesline him, and he ducked the clothesline, and then he went to kick Harper in the stomach, and he just did, like, a really drawn-out, like, lifted his arms up, and then kicked. I was like, that's
the thing about Orton, though. Orton is very, like, he's so methodical that, like, he moves even slow for himself. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to do this, yeah, and I did it. It's just
it looked really funny.
There's a lot of build-up for all the Randy Orton moves. But yeah, Bray Wyatt ends up coming down about halfway through the match, actually laying in the casket, just like lounging, and having the Druid sheep wheel him down to ringside. We came back from commercial, and the casket was closed, and Bray Wyatt was actually standing, or actually like squatting, like at the bottom of the ramp, watching Orton as he'd been tossed out of the ring by Harper.
And Harper, like, headlocks Orton, and he makes Orton, he, like, starts trying to, like, face Orton towards the casket, and Bray keeps opening it, like, ooh, look at the sheets, or something, I don't know. The inside.
I think it was more so like, yeah, this is where you're gonna go.
Oh.
It's like, we're gonna kill you and put you in the
super high thread count.
Really comfy. Eventually, Orton gets a little too in control for Bray's liking.
Yeah.
And he decides to attack Randy Orton, thus giving Randy Orton the win via disqualification. We get a 2-on-1 beatdown for a bit. That's where the really slow Harper boot happens. And then, obviously, Bray's been teasing it the whole match. We're going to put Randy Orton in the casket. Unfortunately, there's already somebody in the casket.
Occupado.
And it's Kane.
The big red machine.
So luckily, after a week, we found Kane. Kane is safe. Him and Randy Orton proceed to beat down the Wyatts.
Safe inside of a casket.
Safe inside of a casket. We get a beat down on the Wyatts for a bit, and then we get the tandem. Kane going for a chokeslam. Randy sets up for an RKO. We get the blip, 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 and the Wyatt family is gone. Kane is mad, so he makes his fire happen. And, it's weird seeing Kane and Randy Orton working well together.
Yeah, they're like a little team. They're a little unspoken team.
I'm not sure what's more weird as far as a Kane tag team partner is concerned, because you've got people like X-Pac and the Hurricane, But
and Rob Van Dam.
And Rob, yeah, Kane. Kane is the master of the oddball tag teams. Like, no one's had more oddball tag team partners than Kane.
Yep.
So,
like Katie Vick.
You're awful. Why? Why did you have to do that?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Never forget.
We had a rematch between Alexa...
WWE wants you to forget. Never forget.
We had a rematch between Alexa Bliss and Naomi, which was way better than their match at No Mercy.
Almost as if they had time to prepare for it.
Like more than 24 hours. It was a solid women's match. Nothing really out of the ordinary, but it was good to see them actually get to show what they can do and not have apparently time constraints ruin what they're capable of.
Yeah, it made way more sense.
It really did.
Because the match at the pay-per-view was just so bizarre. And then the fact that we had Naomi kind of like outsmart Alexa, reversing the submission hold into a pin. Whereas, Alexa Bliss is the number one contender. She's supposed to look strong, getting ready to fight Becky Lynch.
Like, I don't mind that they're trying to get a little bit of credibility with Naomi. But she just needs to look good in the match. She doesn't need to win it.
Yeah.
She's obviously going to get some of that sympathy if she loses to the heel. But yeah, having Alexa lose in a non-title match when she's the number one contender puts a very sour taste on Alexa Bliss as a contender.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, luckily they did kind of right the wrong because Alexa Bliss did pick up the win in this one.
Yeah.
As Naomi was trying to go for something off the top rope, she ends up getting I think she ended up getting crotched up on the top rope and then flung down, set up, and then Alexa went up and she hit the Twisted Bliss and picking up the win over Naomi. And then was talking to Renee afterwards saying that in 3 weeks, that's when the fairy tale ends because she's going to defeat Becky Lynch in Glasgow, Scotland, and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. And this was all very... she talked a lot about fairy tales and stuff with that one, which was kind of weird.
Especially considering she was dressed like Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. It's Halloween. I like it.
Fairy tales would have fit her original gimmick a lot better.
Yeah, the
fairy dust.
Yeah, the fairy. Yeah, definitely.
Pop princess babyface.
And then before we get to our main event, we had one more match. We had a 6-man tag team match where Dolph Ziggler teamed up with the tag team champions Heath Slater and Rhino to take on Miz and the Spirit Squad.
Yeah, the Spirit Squad. Kenny, Mikey, and Mikey. He likes it. He really likes it.
They both like it.
And Maurice.
Yes.
Please.
I'm going to be real. As far as this match is concerned, I still cannot believe how over Heath Slater is. He got more chance than anybody in this match.
Oh, yeah.
Heath is over AF, and it's fantastic to watch.
He always has been.
It's just been very low-key.
Yeah, and the whole idea is, he's been pretty over for the last, year, 2 years.
With just before and during the Social Outcasts, and then this whole build to...
before the Social Outcasts, he freaking has a pinfall victory over Seth Rollins.
He did. And people popped for it.
And then the next week, he was here in Portland.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that WWE didn't use him enough to let it get out of proportion.
Yeah. Now, now
it's going full blown.
Like, the whole I got kids thing is great, but I think he needs to run with the fact that he's the only wrestling member left of the Nexus. Or the Core.
He's the one-man Nexus-Core.
So, it was, a good match all around.
It's a Nexicorn, mythical creature.
Is that a thing? You just made it up. Alright.
It is now.
It's a rhino body with a Heath Slater head.
Nexicorn.
Nexicorn.
It's when he joins the New Day. Oh, can you imagine a 10-man tag with the New
Day,
Day,
Heath Slater, and Rhino?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Rhino would be trying to put one of those unicorn horns on his face.
Speaking of Rhino, we did find out that he just hates male cheerleaders.
Yeah.
It's the only reason he really saved Dolph Ziggler last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Heath was doing it for the hero reasons.
Yeah.
Rhino just doesn't like male cheerleaders.
I got kids, that's why I did it. I just really hate male cheerleaders. So, it's nice to know that both of them have their motives in check.
Yeah.
It was a solid 6-man tag match. I still appreciate how well Kenny and Mikey work as a tag team. The fact that they've kept this gimmick running for as long as it has, it's all the more power to him. Miz was in green. He was very color coded with the Spirit Squad. It was interesting way to build more tension in this story. Do you think the Spirit Squad's going to end up getting a tag team title shot?
Absolutely.
Would make sense because Kenny did pick up a win over Heath Slater.
Yep. After Mikey took a hell of a gore.
Yeah. Slater went for an O'Connor roll on Kenny. He got shoved off, and as he went partially through the ropes, Miz punched him in the face, and then Kenny rolled him up, and the Spirit Squad and the Miz pick up the win.
You mean the Spirit Squad?
What did I say?
Spirit Squad and the Miz.
Oh, you're just counting the Miz for the Spirit Squad.
Yep.
All right, that's fair.
He's got spirit.
I won't fight it. All right. So before we get to our main event match, James Ellsworth has his own T-shirt.
Yep.
You can buy it on WWEshop.com.
Yep. Heard it's a limited release, so get it soon.
Dean actually, that was the first thing we saw on the show.
Help him live out his Cinderella story.
So the first thing we saw on the show was Dean actually giving him the shirt.
What's funny is he's pumping himself up in the locker room.
He was taping up his wrists.
And he looks up and he's just like... Oh.
He was like a kid on Christmas morning.
And the camera pans over and it's Dean Ambrose holding the shirt up.
We had AJ talk about how he was really worried that Dean Ambrose was going to screw him over in this match, and that if he ever did, he was going to hunt Dean Ambrose down. So then we found out that Dean Ambrose was going to be at ringside, and he ended up doing the ring announcing, the ringing of the bell, and sales pitches throughout the entirety of the match.
Yeah, and any kind of important announcements.
Yeah, someone had their lights on out in the parking lot. His programs were sponsored by Verizon. And then there was also a plug for the James Ellsworth t-shirt.
Yeah.
James Ellsworth, by the way, had his own music. He had a Tron. He had a background. He had stuff going on the ramp. He was a full-fledged superstar for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was.
No, this segment was actually probably closer to 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, this was...
The match went on for a while.
This was so much fun.
It was kind of a systematic slaughtering.
Yeah.
With occasional interruptions by Dean Ambrose.
And a super kick by James Ellsworth.
No, it's the no-chin music.
The no-chin... I'm sorry. The no-chin music. Oh, I gotta say, David Otunga with line of the night, as far as that's concerned.
Ellsworth with move of the night, the way he so slickly evaded that chin lock.
I'm so glad that they played off of that. AJ legitimately looked confused as to why his chin lock didn't work. He just sat there with his hands like, what the hell happened?
And then he smacked him in the face.
Yeah. It wasn't a pretty situation for James Ellsworth because AJ.
Who the crowd was solidly behind.
Yes. At one point it was a little split, but we got the Ellsworth.
Which leads me to believe that this year at WrestleMania we're gonna have the colossal battle of the Titans, James Ellsworth versus Goldberg.
I'm all for James Ellsworth. Go Ellsworth.
I honestly want to see that match happen, but I want to see Goldberg sell more to Ellsworth than he does to Lesnar as Survivor Series.
Yes. So eventually,
would that help Goldberg get over with you a little bit? Is that he put Ellsworth over better than he did Lesnar?
Yes. Now I'll say right now, if you watched our Raw review, I'm not excited for that match at all because I don't really like either guy. If I had to choose, I like Goldberg a little more. I just don't have much of an attachment to him because I didn't watch WCW.
Yeah.
But
I think as a general instance, though, if you were to like pick the two of them out of like what you could find out after like doing 10 minutes of Google search, most people I think would pick Goldberg just because he seems like less of an asshat.
Yeah, no, he's a nicer guy. I've listened to him on Stone Cold's podcast. He's a decent dude. And yeah, if he no-sold the shit out of Lesnar and then just sold everything that James Ellsworth did, yeah, no, he'd probably be in my top 15 favorite wrestlers of all time.
Wow, that was a fast shoot-up.
Yeah, you know, people like Scott Steiner ain't gonna move up that fast, but Goldberg's got room to improve.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's 49 years old now. Things could happen.
Yep. So eventually, Dean Ambrose kind of realizes the way this is gonna go. He can't get involved because he doesn't want to screw over James Ellsworth.
And no matter how many times he tries to help, AJ just kind of puts the kibosh on it.
Yeah. But he does realize that every time he talks, AJ is getting progressively more mad.
Yeah.
So his best course of action is just to make AJ as mad as he possibly can. Tells him that he not only looks like a soccer mom, but he kicks like one.
He doesn't hit very hard.
He doesn't hit very hard. Eventually, AJ...
He's making James Ellsworth look like $1 million.
Eventually, AJ just has to prove Dean Ambrose wrong and beats James Ellsworth to the point that the referee has to ring the bell for a disqualification. And then,
yeah, well, he's 5 counting him in the corner.
Yeah.
And AJ's not listening.
So,
gotta listen to the referee, people.
So Dean Ambrose lets us know that the loser of the match is AJ Styles. Therefore, James Ellsworth is your winner. But unfortunately, it's by disqualification.
Yeah.
So we don't get the title change. But the WWE champion is left laying after a dirty deeds as James Ellsworth's hand is raised in victory.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks in a row.
Which
on SmackDown.
Dean gleefully
Yes.
pointed out that James Ellsworth now has more victories over AJ Styles than John Cena does.
And yeah, no, I mean,
I'm saying this right now. I think Ellsworth needs to challenge Cena.
is that going to be a Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Okay, Ellsworth versus Cena at the Royal Rumble.
No, Ellsworth is going to be entrant 30 in the Rumble this year.
He has to be in the Rumble this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely, James Ellsworth is going to be in the Rumble. If he's not, that's a travesty.
Pretty much. It'd be almost as bad as, 2 or 3 years ago when they didn't put Daniel Bryan in the Rumble.
Right.
And everybody was pissed the fuck off.
And booed the hell out of Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Sad day for whoever number 30 was that go around. Because it wasn't Daniel Bryan and the crowd wasn't having it.
Yeah. So, once again, SmackDown, I enjoy you every week. I don't know how you do it, but I appreciate it.
Keep it up, SmackDown.
So
You're the fun brand.
yeah. A brand Raw. Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this like, there's a reason why I think SmackDown's great. Not to say that red is a bad color.
No.
But, like, blue is also the color of Pepsi Cola. Which I prefer. I mean, not a sponsor.
I'm not showing the logo.
But,
That's what this is.
You know, I prefer them over Coke, which is red.
Yeah. I mean, we're both wearing red shirts, but they're all SmackDown peeps.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan, Kane, Dean Ambrose.
So, yeah, we are. We're fans of the blue brand. Sorry. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe.
Click all the links down in the description. They send to all of our social medias.
So many social
Click that
medias.
SoundCloud link if you want to listen to us rather than watch us.
Podcast.
And for those of you that are listening to us, come on over to the YouTube so you can check out the videos. We don't have any extra ones this week, just got our regular 4. But if you tune into other weeks, you get predictions, you get pay-per-view reviews,
Top fives.
you get top 5s, and you can get even more content if you go over to our second channel, that being Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
Reasonable with a W, like wrestling.
where you get all of our YouTube gear stuff like unboxing videos, reaction videos, pay-per-view punishment videos where we do different...
You know the wagers, if you watch the pay-per-view predictions, you know we put wagers on now. We've done chops, we've done kendo stick, we've done nasty, gross drinks, and hot sauce.
Yep. And with Hell in a Cell just a week and a half away, we've got another one coming up soon. So you'll want to head over to those videos over there. You can see what you can expect after we find out who wins the Hell in a Cell predictions.
And punch down in the comments if you have an idea for what you'd want to see as the Hell in a Cell wager.
Yes. And coming out later this week, there will be a new reaction video as we finally get Kevin Hawk to watch Delete or Decay.
Yeah, I got 2 days off from work, so I'm bound to fit it in there somewhere.
It's gonna happen. So, once again, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Can't believe I'm about to say it. Fuck. Apollo Crews?
Ellsworth. Ellsworth.